What is going on, everybody, and welcome to my new addiction that is Final Fantasy XIV Online. And this is actually my very first MMO that I have ever played for more than like a couple hours at a time. And I don't believe this is just a coincidence. So if you guys know me, I tend to like my single player games, throw in a little bit of multiplayer shooters in there, like some Apex and some Rainbow Six Siege. But mostly, I'm more of an action RPG kind of guy with my Dark Souls, with my Devil May Cries, my high-flying third-person action. You know what I'm saying? But this one got me. This one got me real good. And I think there's a few reasons why. So the only other MMO that I have ever tried was World of Warcraft. And I tried that one for a couple hours, like I said. I started as a human rogue and played that for a couple hours. Whenever I bought into it, I was able to get like the level 50 character as well for the account. Did that with one of the Moonkin, I think, or Boomkin, or whatever the big owl-looking creatures are. And hopping into that, I had no clue what was going on and anything to do with that. And I promptly dropped it. I just had no interest in trying to figure things out. I was a little overwhelmed at that. I was a little underwhelmed at the rogue starter. And yeah, just kind of fell off with that. Never re-upped, never finished out what I was planning on doing with that. The whole reason I was doing that is because my cousin wanted to PvP, and I was all down for that. I just could not bring myself to get through to the grind of doing that. And I think that was the biggest problem with me trying to hop into a game like that. Was I was doing it for the wrong reasons. I wasn't doing it to get immersed in the universe. I wasn't doing it to get immersed with my character or the lore or anything like that. I was just doing it for an end goal, and rushing to that end goal was just not fun because I had no reason to push for it other than that end goal. I wasn't having fun in the middle of it. Feral pack of diseased dogs. Yeah, might as well. But in comes Final Fantasy XIV, and the biggest thing with this is nobody, like, talked me into playing this one. There's a few people that I know that are playing this one and have been playing this one for a very, very long time. And it's always been an interest of mine because I've always been a big fan of the Final Fantasy world. I like Moogles, I like my Chocobos, I like all that shit. So if I ever got into a MMO, I had a feeling this would be the one that would do it, and I was not disappointed. And what I just said, I think, kind of lends itself home to exactly why, is because I like Final Fantasy. This is a world that I was already invested in prior to jumping into the MMO. It had some world building that I was already familiar with. I feel like people that came from the Warcraft days had the similar reason to be excited about World of Warcraft as I did about getting into this. You had a previous backstory. You already knew what the world was about, what all was going on. And I know that it's not quite 100% the same because World of Warcraft is all set in canon same universe, or, well, same area, actually. Whereas the Final Fantasies are all like alternate universes, alternate stories, stuff like that. None of them are actually connected, other than like world building aspects and like some returning races and characters and stuff, but the feel is the same. So yeah, bringing that, I already loved Final Fantasy and had an interest in it from that perspective already. It made it a lot easier to transition in because I was already invested in what was going down. And the writing of the story so far, I've not gotten very far into it, but I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying how they do the character quests. I'm enjoying how they do the main story quests. It's all very interesting. They're all like little Final Fantasy stories wrapped in together. And there are a lot of things that stand out as a new player coming into an MMO. Somebody that's never played an MMO before, that has really helped with my experience. First and foremost, the community is ridiculously kind. Nobody in here has been even remotely nasty. The few dungeons that I've done Dungeon Finder with, everybody was very chill in those. They might have like pushed a little fast through, so I wasn't able to like pick up on the intricacies of the dungeons, but they're early game dungeons. I can't imagine there being that much intricacies to them. But the community is ridiculously kind. They are very, very welcoming to new players, and this little sprout shows that you are a new player. I think that's a neat thing, so that people know what they're getting into whenever they see you in the game. If they see you struggling, I've seen people pop up in the chat being like, hey, you lost? I'm like, yeah, I'm lost. And they'll help you out. They're just very, very kind people that are passionate about the world, passionate about new players coming into the game. I have not gotten a really sense of any kind of gatekeeping, and I think that is the marks of a good community. I feel like once you get the gatekeepers like taking over, that's when you start having your fair share of issues getting new players in the game. Coming from a different style of game, but a game that has that similar issue, Rainbow Six Siege has a horrible gatekeeping issue. That on top of the already steep learning curve of actually getting into the game, it makes it so the new players, it's almost impossible unless you have like a 5-man group of people to teach a new player for them to actually get into the game and enjoy it, I feel. Whereas with this, the learning curve is steep, especially if you've never played an MMO. I feel like if you've played an MMO before, it all kind of lines up and you know what to expect, what you're getting into, that kind of stuff. But if you are in a way that has no clue what is actually going on, how any of the hotbars or how movement and stuff works, it can be a bit overwhelming. And I was a bit overwhelmed, but the ease of entry with the community and everything going on, and the pacing of the beginning, it's not slow to the point that it is going to bore you. The first few missions you're going to get are go around town, learn how to interact with things, and then they put you out into the field instead of just kind of throwing you out into combat, which, while more exciting, does not teach you like really the fundamentals of how to interact with things. I'm glad that they went the way they did with the entry level stuff. There's a bunch of other things that I feel Final Fantasy does really well over a lot of the other MMOs. The only other MMO that I think looks as good as this one would maybe be like Elder Scrolls Online. But this game just looks phenomenal. The particle effects are nice. The environments are very unique, and from what I've seen, the enemy variation is very, very good. I am enjoying the dungeons thoroughly. I like how the mechanics work with those. I know that's like standard MMO stuff, but I'm a baby. I don't know this stuff, and it's just really, really nice and refreshing to have like little puzzles and stuff to figure out, especially if you have a group to play with, which I do. We're all fairly new to this game, and we're kind of learning together, and that makes it a lot of fun as well. We also hopped on a preferred world, which I feel like has helped the experience quite a bit. If you don't know what a preferred world is, we got the road to 70 up here. We, just by being on the server, they're wanting to populate the server, so they've got an incentive on it with a 100% XP bonus for everything that you do in the game to kind of make it a little bit quicker, a little bit easier for you to get where you want to go. It takes some of the grind out of it, which I hear this game's early game grind is pretty hefty. But I would say the one thing that drew me into this, that I knew I was going to have fun with and knew that was going to be a big game changer as far as me wanting to invest time into this, is the fact that everything you want to do in this game, unless you just want to hop servers to play on a different server with a group of people, you don't have to, because your character, just by the nature of how things are set up, you can go and do whatever you want wherever you want. Like, I've got my Conjurer set up, I've got a Marauder, I've got a Lancer. Any role that you want to play, you can play with a single character. It's not like World of Warcraft where you have to make an entirely new character to do an entirely new play style. You can invest as much or as little time as you want into each of these jobs, but they are interchangeable. And I feel like that alone sets this game to a better accessibility level for a lot of people. It's not maybe as hardcore, you maybe don't get as invested in like a set character or role or RP. But I feel like it actually does the opposite of what a lot of people would think. I feel like I'm more invested in this character just because she can be everything. It actually gives me a reason to give a damn about this character as opposed to just saying, oh yeah, she's my rogue alt or my paladin alt or my warlock alt. She is my character. She is going to get me through pretty well everything. I have no intention at this point of hopping onto a different server. and she is going to be it. And I feel like being able to swap jobs, if you have a job that you just don't mesh well with, hop to something else. It's really, really cool. And the free trial of the game is very generous, with being able to go through all of the main game and the first DLC for free. Yes, there's some accessibility things locked out, like parties and stuff like that, but as long as you have like one person that owns the game, that's a non-factor. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to talk to you guys about this game, talk to you about why I'm enjoying it from a new player's perspective, and really like advocate that this is a good MMO. This is a really fun time. I am enjoying myself thoroughly. I didn't think I would ever enjoy an MMO as much as I am this. I figured it was just a genre that was beyond me, kind of like the survival genre, but lo and behold, I'm playing Ark as well, so just goes to show if you try new things, you might enjoy them. But thank you all for listening to me rant. Much love, Tentacrew. I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.